We're back. Happy New Year's Eve. If there is such a day, it's today. Just 2 more days left in the year 2020. Good riddance. You don't, what was that? Malcolm, that's a tool, not a toy. Megan, come back. She's on vacation. Malcolm's pushing the buttons. We love Malcolm. On days when he has the bolts tightened in his neck, he's in a lot better shape. It's Wednesday, December 30th, 2020. I am Dan Coons. Slight snow coming down here in the Wenatchee Valley. Not going to get a lot of snow. It's going to kind of drift down most of the day today in the valley. Higher elevations, more snow. Mountains, big time snow. Boy, the passes are just a mess right now. Just, ugh. You're not going to like driving over the Cascades today. If you can avoid it, you'll want to do that. The Leavenworth bomb hoax, and that's what we're calling it now because it turns out it wasn't much. It's just a big inconvenience for our friends at the Bavarian Village. That'll be our top story here in a couple of minutes. It's a good thing that our one of our top flight reporters, Jefferson, actually lives in Leavenworth, so we got some footage for you. Also had a chance to talk to the Leavenworth City Administrator. We'll get to that when we get to news. We'll have that weather forecast. Today is going to be snowy. We're going to see some snow melt and then probably rain as opposed to snow as we welcome in 2021. Forecast details are coming up. Sports, Gonzaga wrapped up their non-conference season with a fairly easy victory. We got highlights. I like it when we can do that. Also, we'll talk about the Seattle Seahawks getting ready to wrap up their regular season. And, of course, by Sunday night, we'll know who they're going to be playing in the first round of the playoffs. They may even, it's a long shot, but they may even get that number 1 seed of the NFC. It's probably not going to happen, but we'll talk Seahawks football. We'll have the obscure holiday. Mike Minotti's got an opinion. We got some celebrity birthdays, a lot of celebrity birthdays today. It's a jam-packed group there. And also today in history on this 30th day of December. Let's see what we have out there. Malcolm's been pushing buttons, so I don't know. We'll find out. That is the cross camera. It's sometimes there's a big fog bank and low clouds and snow that comes through and blocks it, and other times it's clear as a bell and you can see all the way to Rocky Reach Dam. Well, right now you can't see Rocky Reach Dam. About the only thing you can make out is the industrial park down there at the bottom of the Wenatchee Heights area where Columbia Distributing is, and there's an auto dealership and a few other things. That's what you see lit up at the bottom of your screen. The rest of the valley can't make it out from our cross camera, but we can there. Let me see. Is that Valley High? That's Valley High. In black and white. It is snowing. That's blew it past. That little thing, that headlight that you see coming through there in the middle of your screen. That's somebody braving blew it past, trying to climb up to the summit of 4,100 feet. By the way, it's a traction tire advisory on Blewett. All the passes are getting snow right now. Good morning to Valley High. That is number 1 Canyon. 5th Street is that long ribbon that comes right at you. A few homesteads there. Excuse me. You can see the fog and the clouds. And again, it's kind of spittling snow and has been off and on for most of the overnight hours. We're not going to get a big dump into snow. We're just going to get, 1, 2, maybe 3 inches, but it's going to kind of snow lightly most of the day today. And then we have rounds of snow in the upper elevations and rain in the lower elevations coming our way. There's a parade of storms out there, but it's also bringing in some fairly mild air for this time of the year. Let me look at what we're looking at. Let's see. Is that Omi Gardens? Yeah, it's Omi Gardens. Okay, there you go. That's the Stamil complex that we see down there at the bottom of your screen. I think you can make out the Otabashian Bridge. I'm not 100% sure. Wenatchee's off in the distance there. And that's a good example of what I'm talking about, how spotty these clouds and fog can be, because that camera there that you see, the Omi Gardens camera, which is pointing to the south towards the Wenatchee Valley, is at the same elevation as the cross camera, but we can't see anything from the cross camera, but we can see some detail from the Omi Gardens camera. It's odd indeed. So that's a quick look at a little tour around the Wenatchee Valley. We got a look at the snow forecast. This is from the National Weather Service. Take a look at where you live, and this is how much snow we're going to get through tonight. Again, for the Wenatchee Valley, anywhere from 1 to 3 inches. Snow level right now is about 600 feet, which is us. But it's kind of petering out just a little bit. So we're going to get light snow most of the day today. And again, the crest of the Cascades and the Idaho Panhandle is going to get, and Northeast Washington State is going to get the brunt most of this snow. Some of the snow is going to come down very heavily in the Methow Valley, for instance, and just north of Spokane. We're going to get a little bit of light snow before we switch over to rain for the new weekend. And we still have a winter weather advisory in effect, by the way. It's in effect until 10 o'clock tonight, and it should be expiring at that point. So again, once we get into the weekend, rain in the lower elevations and snow, and I mean heavy snow, at about 2,700 feet and above that from the National Weather Service. Let's take a look at it in detail. All right, snow today, off and on pretty much most of the day today, 1, 2, maybe even 3 inches in some locations in our viewing area that are more susceptible to snow than the Wenatchee Valley proper. High of 32. By the way, check this out. Yesterday's high and low for Tuesday, our high was 32, our low was 30. That was it. We got to 30 degrees and it just kind of sat there all day long with the low clouds and the fog. So we had a 2-degree temperature variation between our high and our low. That was all we had on Tuesday, and we're going to do it again today, only we're going to have a little bit more snow. Partly sunny Thursday. Going to see some sun breaks, maybe some snow melt, obviously, with a high of 36 degrees. On Thursday night, which is New Year's Eve, go out there and party safely. 30% chance of light snow, although the snow level is going to be at about 1,200 feet. We're not expecting any snow on Thursday night. Friday is New Year's Day. Rain, perhaps rain, maybe mixed with snow in the early morning hours. We'll get up to about 35 degrees. Warmer still on Saturday. And again, the snow level is going to be right around 2,400 feet. So that's the demarcation line. Above 2,400 feet snow, below that rain, and between, say, 2,100 feet to about 1,800 feet of elevation, you can get a rain-snow mix on Saturday. And then Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, as it's back to work in a new year, lots of clouds, probably rain, and not snow. So again, light snow most of the day today, tapers off late this afternoon. Very little, if any, snow expected tonight, Thursday night, even into Friday, and then we're looking at rain for the weekend. And snow in the upper elevations. To the passes we go, not pretty. That's a live shot of I-90. It is snowing hard, poor visibility. Chains are required on all cars unless you got all-wheel drive. It is not very pleasant on I-90 right now. It's not very pleasant on Stevens. Look at that. Well, there's a few skiers getting ready to throw themselves down the slopes. Traction tires required on Stevens Pass. It's snowing. It's snowing hard. Compact snow and ice on the roadway. Again, traction tires are required on Stevens, and they are advised on Blewett, although I'm not seeing a lot of pavement. Actually, you can't even make out Blewett Pass much at all, really. Traction tires are advised. It is snowing on Blewett Pass. You just saw the camera from Valley High to see that it's coming down pretty good. Traction tires are advised on Blewett, required on Stevens. Chains are required on I-90. 4 to 8 inches of snow today, 3 to 7 inches of snow tonight, 2 to 4 inches of snow on Thursday. By Thursday night, the snow is going to taper off, so it'll be a total of between 10 to 20 inches of fresh snow in the Cascades starting today and going through tomorrow night. They get a little bit of a break on Thursday night, New Year's Eve, and then the snow will come New Year's Day. Basically, Friday afternoon, it's going to start snowing again in the Cascades, and it ain't going to stop till maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. They're going to be measuring the snow by the foot, not by the inch, starting New Year's Day. Just a heads up there. Great news for skiers, not so much for winter driving conditions. Going to take a break at 9 minutes after the hour and come back with, turns out to be a lot of news on this Wednesday morning. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Discover the magic of the holidays in iconic Lake Chelan. Enjoy wintry wine tastings, head outdoors to ski, hike, or just have fun. Come experience the breathtaking light displays, celebrate the season with neighborhood Santa parades, or find just the right thing in our local boutiques. Your family is invited to join in our family traditions. Shop local, buy local, play local. Learn more at smalltownholidays.com.
CVCH wants to make your winter just a little brighter with their Get Out and Explore gift giveaway. This December and January, visit cvchgetout.com and download fun, safe, and simple activity guides to 4 beautiful towns in our backyard: Wenatchee, Chelan, Cashmere, and Leavenworth. Most activities are free of charge and unique to the community you visit. So get out and explore. Visit cvchgetout.com for details.
Cloudy, foggy, misty, some light snow coming down, 28 degrees. Here in downtown Wenatchee, light snow most of the day today, inch and a half of the Wenatchee Valley, more snow in the upper elevations, and then we're going to dry out on Thursday and probably see rain as opposed to snow to welcome in the new year this weekend. And here are your headlines. A bomb threat phoned into Rivercom last night forced residents and tourists to evacuate Leavenworth's busy Front Street commercial district for about 6 hours. Sheriff's deputies also closed Highway 2 through town after the caller claimed it was an explosive device in a downtown garbage can. Now, the threat was called into Rivercom at about 8:40 last night. Deputies began warning pedestrians out of the Front Street area between 12th Street and the Leavenworth City Pool. They also forced Cascade Medical Center into a lockdown. Anna Cortez Steiner is the city administrator for Leavenworth, and she gave this update last night before the all clear was given.
So what we understand from the Sheriff's Department is, from the Sheriff's Office, is that a call was made indicating that there was a bomb in a garbage can in the what we call the downtown core on Front Street, and we are trying to trace the phone call, find out who started that. We are currently waiting for bomb squad staff and resources to come from Moses Lake and from the west side. When they arrive, then they'll start operations to try to identify if in fact this is a real threat or not, and that's where we are.
Do you know if downtown was very full, if a lot of people had to be asked to leave all at once?
You know, I don't know. I will tell you that I had seen the downtown earlier today. It was pretty packed. I know yesterday I went for a walk around 6 p.m. and it was pretty packed, and so I would imagine, and it was like this, so I don't think that the weather was a deterrent in any way. So I would imagine that we had large crowds and, you know, folks had to leave.
Are you hopeful that this is just a prank?
I am definitely hoping that it's a prank. I do believe it's a prank. There's been a lot of communication in social media that leads me to believe that it is a prank.
Turns out she was probably right. The Washington State Patrol's bomb technician team combed the area in and around Front Street. No explosive device was found. Highway 2 and the downtown corridor was reopened at 2:25 this morning. Well, Chelan County's decision on how to manage short-term vacation rental properties is going to have to wait until 2021. County commissioners agreed yesterday to put the matter into the hands of a 7-member task force, and they're going to review any new findings next year. The decision came after more than 2 years of deliberations and massive public input. Here's how yesterday's meeting went.
In my thoughts on this and presentation to you yesterday, I suggested that we stand up the task force pre-code and that we can have you continue the proceedings, basically stop them right where they are, and we continue the proceedings while moving forward in a 90-day period for a task force that would look at the existing code within some parameters set in a resolution by the board, and that this task force would have 90 days in order to review what's been presented, look at the what are essentially the big issues, the big sticky issues, and attempt to come up with some area where consensus, or near consensus at least, could be found on how to proceed.
Okay, and just to reiterate to our constituents here that we're looking at a task force that is comprised of 7 individuals, 3 that the interests of the short-term rental, 3 that represent neighborhoods and housing affordability, and 1 commission. And then I will get back to the Board of Commissioners fairly soon with the recommendation on the slate of candidates for this important task force.
I would like to be able to step back from the drafting process, as heavy a hand as I've had on the tiller for this thing, and let the task force and Commissioner Boogert move forward, and I'll provide whatever assistance from this department, including my own services if needed or requested.
A judge set bail Monday at $1 million for the two men suspected in that fatal Wenatchee shooting. Police say 47-year-old Shane Earl Hagan of Wenatchee and 25-year-old Brendan Kane Ripper of East Wenatchee were both present, and Hagan was armed with a pistol when 36-year-old Jesus Manuel Garcia of Toppenish died by gunfire Wednesday in the 600 block of Idaho Street. Hagan suffered a bullet wound to the leg. He was jailed after being treated at Central Washington Hospital. Chelan County prosecutors have until this afternoon to file felony counts against the two men. Both remain held at the Chelan County Regional Justice Center. Wenatchee police say they are asking for charges of second-degree murder. A former Christian camp leader charged with voyeurism and domestic violence is free on bond 3 months after his arrest. David Mark Sogjan resigned his post as director of Tall Timber Ranch near Lake Wenatchee after his arrest back on September 30th. Chelan County Sheriff's deputies say the 45-year-old Sogjan spied on a teenager who was taking a shower at his home and shoved and injured a family member who confronted him about it. He posted a $25,000 bond for his release on Monday. Trial is scheduled for February. Tall Timber Ranch is a 130-acre camp complex on the White River Road. It hosts Bible-based retreats for children and young adults. Grant County needs to do a better job of tracking its own finances. That's the message from the state auditor's office, which issued a management letter last week saying in the year 2019, the county misclassified more than $5.5 million in its equipment rental and revolving fund, calling it miscellaneous revenue instead. ER&R funds are one way local governments share computers, vehicles, and machinery among their departments. The county also misstated its finances by about $2.2 million in other categories. Grant County says it's working on improving its accounting practices. North Central Washington's two congressional representatives cast opposing votes Monday on increasing America's COVID-19 relief payments. 8th District Congresswoman Kim Schreier, a Democrat, said yes to increasing the next round of pandemic relief to $2,000 per individual. The measure passed the House 275 to 134, then it was off to the Senate. 4th District Representative Dan Newhouse, a Republican, cast one of the no votes. In a statement, Newhouse said increasing the proposed direct relief payments from $600 to $2,000 would cost too much and said Central Washington families, quote, want paychecks, not handouts. Citing safety concerns because there was an unusually high amount of traffic, the Forest Service has banned snowmobile use in areas of the Methow Valley Ranger District, and that begins on Friday. The off-limits areas are near Washington Pass off Highway 20. Meanwhile, Okanagan Wenatchee National Forest Service officials say a lot of backcountry snowmobiling and snow biking opportunities in the area remain open, including Spire Gully off Highway 20. The closures, by the way, will remain in effect until June 30th. And finally, Tina the Goose and Tom the Turkey. They were an inseparable pair at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society shelter barn. They were forced from their home earlier this month. Last week, the Humane Society put out a call for somebody to adopt the two 9-month-olds for the holidays, but there was one caveat, and it was a big one. Their new home was not to involve the dinner table. Mission accomplished, by the way. The Humane Society reporting Tina and Tom found a new home on Christmas Eve, and it was not in somebody's stomach. And that's a look at what's making headlines at 19 minutes after the hour. Eric and Grant and Cal and the whole crew will be putting together a newscast for you. I have a feeling we're going to be pretty busy today in the bullpen. We'll have the news for you at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. And with the preview, here's Grant.
On the NCW Life Evening News, get ready for an all-day snow event today. I'll have your complete North Central Washington weather forecast as we head into the new year. And in sports, Eric Granstrom will look ahead to the Seahawks' final game of the NFL regular season this Sunday against the 49ers. That and all the day's news coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope you'll join us then. Dan?
Thank you, Grant. We appreciate it. I always make a point to watch the news. And don't forget, you can watch the news on demand. We'll have it up and posted on our website and with links on our Facebook page and our YouTube page, so you can watch the news anytime you want. except right now you want to watch this show. Get a hold of us if you are so inclined to do so. You can use our Facebook page and use the Facebook Messenger app. You can email us directly, news@ncwlife.com, or you can go to our homepage and click on the contact icon and shoot us a line that way. Going to take a break. When we come back, sports, talking about Gonzaga basketball. Their non-conference season ended on a winning note last night. We'll also talk about Seahawks football. We'll have the obscure holiday today in history, a lot of celebrity birthdays, and Mike Magnotti's got an opinion. It's all coming up. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Celebrate the holidays with your friends and neighbors. Stop by and exchange a warm smile and a holiday greeting with these local businesses.
If your heating or cooling unit needs routine maintenance or an emergency repair, give Climatech a call. The staff at Climatech send your family warmest wishes for this Christmas season.
Fresh dough, real cheese, tasty ingredients, pizza made to order. From their kitchen to your oven, Papa Murphy's Pizza. Order today. Happy holidays from our family to yours.
You don't want to see this happen. It's the oil light on your car. Oil is the lube of life for your car's engine. At Alignment Pros and Express Lube, they pour the best oil your car deserves. Expect fast, friendly, superior service in a clean environment. They'll change your oil and perform a 21-point inspection while you enjoy the comfort of their amazing waiting room. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
"22 minutes after the hour on a snowy, misty, cloudy, foggy Wednesday morning. Let's talk about sports. Gonzaga finished their non-conference schedule with a very impressive win, 112-67 the final. They beat Dixie State last night in Spokane. Bulldogs led by the 25 points of Corey Kispert. Joel Ayayi tied a career high. He had 21 points, 11 rebounds. Highlights courtesy of Gonzaga Athletics. Umar Ballo came off the bench. He had 17 points. Gonzaga finishes their non-conference season 9-0. They'll open West Coast Conference play Saturday at home against San Francisco at 7 o'clock. The women, by the way, continue their West Coast Conference play today in California. They'll be in Malibu to take on Pepperdine. Tip time for the 23rd-ranked Bulldogs and Waves at 5 o'clock. Seahawks have not had the greatest of luck when it comes to their first-round draft choices. Back in the early 2000s, of course, they drafted Marcus Tubbs, Chris Spencer, Kelly Jennings. That didn't work out so good. More recently, Seattle's pick of L.J. Collier in the first round of the 2019 draft seems to have been a bust at the time, but it's begun to show some promising signs this season. And the Hawks' 2020 first-round pick, this turned out to be a pretty good one. Jordan Brooks, looks a lot like Bobby Wagner. When he was a rookie, the Texas Tech linebacker is 7th on the team in combined tackles. He's got 48, came up with a huge tackle for a loss during the goal line stand against LA last weekend. Coach Pete Carroll says Brooks is becoming who they thought he would be.
He played great. He really did. He was physical and tough and really saw things well. We had to adjust some things during the game to fit stuff up, which he was able to do and did well. He's an impacting football player. He's really good, and I might have said, I feel like I said last night, that he really handles the game well, and he can communicate well, and you don't feel like you're talking to a pup that's all wild-eyed and all that. He's really tuned in and can make sense of the adjustments and stuff like that, which is really important, obviously, to play well.
Brooks and the defense have made a huge turnaround since that Buffalo blowout midway through the season. In fact, Seattle has gone from a total of 28 quarterback sacks a season ago. They have 43 so far this year. Coach Carroll says it was a concerted effort to refocus after they were blown out by the Bills.
We needed to turn our focus to embrace the mentality of the individual players as much as we could. And so in that middle part of that, right then, we were really getting after it, and we were doing all kinds of stuff to try and generate, and understand best how we could use our guys. And so that has led us to where we are now, and we're pressuring a little bit differently than we did early on, but it's just, we've tried to put players in the positions where they can do things really well and feel really confident and go for it. And it doesn't always work out right, but that's what we're trying to do. And it has led us to a more aggressive style. And Kenny's done a great job with the base package of what we're doing to put guys in position where they can pressure from. And so we're threatening. Our look threatens threatens pressure all the time, and that's part of the mentality that we're trying to live with and play up to.
Seahawks wrap up their regular season on Sunday. They'll be in Arizona to take on the San Francisco 49ers. Now, if the Seahawks win and Green Bay loses and Orleans loses, that would give the Seahawks the number 1 seed in the NFC. Coach Pete Carroll says they're not resting anybody this weekend.
We're going for it. We would love to have that break for our players if we can get it. It's good to have. I think another team gets a shot or whatever, and they give more opportunity. They spread that out. That's good. If nobody had a bye, it'd be good. I don't know. If it was all even, it would probably be better, in my mind. But because you can't control it, it's outside of you to a certain extent. So, but we're playing for it because it's good for you. It's good for your body, and all that. So we're going to try to take care of business and get that thing if it's possible. So we're going all out again this week. There's no other thought than to play. This is the championship opportunity to put ourselves in the best situation going into the playoffs.
It is the Seahawks and the 49ers again being played in Arizona, Glendale at State Farm Stadium, formerly Cardinals Stadium, formerly University of Phoenix Stadium. And by the time the kickoff Sunday at 1:25, it might have another name. I don't know. Those are just some of the games that people are playing at 28 minutes after the hour. Give it up, everybody. It's National Bacon Day. Bacon. Little cured belly from the pork and the pig, and you got the bacon and you're good to go. Do you know anybody who doesn't like bacon? In Central Asia, I know the history of bacon. I looked it up. About 10,000 years ago in Central Asia, the first wild pigs were domesticated. Not long after that, people began to like bacon. The Romans loved bacon because it was inexpensive, it was easy to cook, and it tasted really good. So it went from Central Asia to ancient Rome to Germany, and then give it up for Hernando De Soto, who back in 1539 was the first person to bring pigs to the Western Hemisphere. He bought 13 pigs to the Americas, and within 3 years he had 700 pigs, which is why he's credited with being the father of the American pork industry, Hernando De Soto. Of course, it's one of the most popular food items on the planet. No two types of bacon, of course, are exactly the same. And I got fun facts about bacon. Bacon and eggs are eaten together 71% of the time. I'm not surprised there. A 250-pound pig, which is about average, will yield about 23 pounds of bacon. 53% of all Americans always keep bacon on hand in the refrigerator. The top consumers of bacon, New York City and Los Angeles. They like their bacon in the big town. The average American eats 20 pounds of bacon a year. I think I eat 20 pounds of bacon a week if I could get my hands on it. Bacon grease was used to make explosives back in World War II, and it took me forever to figure this out. I love a good BLT. I put mayonnaise on one side. I use sourdough bread, big piece of sourdough bread. Mayonnaise on one side, Miracle Whip on the other, lettuce, tomato, and bacon. And it took me forever before I finally realized that the best way to prepare bacon is to bake it, not fry it on a stovetop. You bake the bacon. The only way to go. Trust me on that. Happy National Bacon Day. Celebrate it with a pig you love. Today in history, the 48 continuous United States became the 48 continuous United States. Pretty much on this date. Back in 1853, the Gadsden Purchase. We bought land from Mexico. We wanted to build a railroad across the southwest United States between New Mexico and Arizona and eventually to California. The problem was they didn't own the land. It wasn't even in the United States. It belonged to Mexico. So they cut a deal. They bought 29,670 square miles from Mexico, cut them a check, $10 million, cleared the bank, deal's done. It's about $230 million in today's money. So this is a really good deal for some real estate. And of course, with that, the continuous border of the United States was done. It was pretty simple. U.S. wanted to build a transcontinental railroad, but you can only build a railroad on property that you own. So Mexico, which had just lost the Mexican-American War, didn't want to go to war again. Didn't have any money. They needed the dough. So it was a pretty easy deal. The Gadsden Purchase, done on this date, 167 years ago today. And there are fires, and then there are fires. And on December 30th, 1903, 117 years ago today, at the Iroquois Theater in Chicago, a fire broke out above the stage. And it was all said and done. 605 people died, at least 605 people. The exact number of fatalities was never actually determined. It remains to this day the single deadliest single building fire in American history. The Iroquois Theater was advertised as being absolutely fireproof when it opened for business. A couple days before the fire, a Chicago Fire Department captain toured the building for its annual inspection and said, "Hey, there's no sprinkler system here. There's no fire alarms. You don't have any telephones. There's no water connections. There's only one way in and out of the theater." They didn't do anything about it. They did have fire exits. The fire exits were locked, so people wouldn't sneak into the theater for free. The only fire escapes available were not done yet. A lot of people either fell or jumped to their deaths, and a few of the fire escapes themselves that were not completed yet just collapsed to the ground. After the fire broke out above the stage, so they had fire extinguishers, but the fire extinguisher ain't going to work when the fire is 150 feet up in the air. The stage manager tried to lower the asbestos curtain to prevent the fire from spreading. It got snagged. It was later determined that the asbestos curtain wasn't even made out of asbestos. It was made out of wood, which will burn. The Iroquois Theater. The vast majority of people, by the way, trampled to death. There was just one way out of the theater. Didn't take very long for that to break out of hand. On a much happier note, let's do birthdays. We have 3 sports legends and 7 rock and rollers, because we love our rock and roll here, at least I do. Sandy Koufax, the legendary Sandy Koufax. There he is, 85 years old today. The National League MVP in 1963 won 3 Cy Young Awards back when there was just 1 Cy Young Award. It was 1 Cy Young Award for all of Major League Baseball. Now there's 1 Cy Young Award for the National League and 1 for the American League. But back when only 1 pitcher would win it, he won 3 of them in 63, 65, and 66. 3 pitching triple crowns. The first pitcher ever with 4 no-hitters. He threw a perfect game against the Cubs. And the youngest person ever inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame, the legendary Sandy Koufax, is 85 years old today. I think you've heard of this guy, Eldrick Tiger Woods, who was 45 years old today. He is tied for first all-time with wins on the PGA Tour. He has 82. The 11-time PGA Player of the Year, more than anybody else. 15 major championships, second only to Jack Nicklaus. He's won the Masters 5 times, the U.S. Open 3 times, the Open Championship 3 times, and the PGA Championship 4 times. Tiger Woods, 45 years old today. And LeBron James, who was just named the Associated Press Athlete of the Year, is 36 years old today. He has 4 NBA championships. He has 4 MVP awards. He has 2 Olympic gold medals. He's a 16-time NBA All-Star, and nobody has scored more points in the NBA playoffs than LeBron James, and he may very well be the GOAT. He's 36 years old today. And now let's talk rock and roll. Bo diddley, have you heard? Baby gonna buy me a mockingbird. Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Bo Diddley. Oh, man, he's good. We miss him. Been gone for quite some time now. Died at the age of 79 in 2008. He is inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Class of 1987 with his famous shave and a haircut 2 bits beat. Bo Diddley. We miss you, my friend. Born in the state in 1928. Felix Paparoli was born in the state in 1939. Died in 1983. He's considered one of the greatest bass guitar players of all time. He produced the albums done by the legendary supergroup Cream. He was a member of Mountain. He was a great songwriter, an in-demand producer. For Christmas 1982, Felix Paparoli bought his wife a gun for Christmas. 6 months later, in June of 1983, she turned the gun and shot and killed her husband, Felix Paparoli, who died at the age of 43, but the music lives on. Del Shannon is a walking in the rain. Tears are falling, and he feels the pain. The great Del Shannon, he's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Class of 1999, rumor was he was going to replace Roy Orbison in the Traveling Wilburys after Roy Orbison died of a heart attack in 1988. He wasn't. Del Shannon took his own life at the age of 55 in 1990. The great Del Shannon, born in the state of 1934. 2 monkeys celebrate the same birthday. Michael Nesmith, 78 years old today. He was a true musician, a great songwriter. Michael Nesmith. He was the one who wore the wool hat. And the wool hat story is pretty fascinating. When he went to audition for the Monkees for the open casting call, he took his motorcycle with him and to drive to the audition in Hollywood, and he wore a wool cap so his hair wouldn't get all messed up, and the producers liked the look. And so he kept the wool cap as his kind of thing. Michael Nesmith, 78 years old today, and his bandmate, Davey Jones, born in the state of 1945. He, of course, was British. Davey Jones died of a heart attack in 2012 at the age of 66. The great Davey Jones, considered by many, including Michael Nesmith, to be the heart and soul of the Monkees. Patti Smith, 74 years old today. If you've never heard the album Horses, you're missing out. Patti Smith, singer, songwriter, poet. She's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She was inducted 13 years ago. Patti Smith is 74 years old today. And Jeff Lynne, also in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, is a member of ELO, the Traveling Wilburys. He worked with George Harrison, Roy Orbison, Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr. The list goes on and on. The legendary Jeff Lynne, 72 years old today. Going to take a break. When we come back, Mike McNaughty's got an opinion. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on a winter Wednesday morning on the NCW Life channel.
Winter is a great time to trade in your current hot tub. Turn your old hot tub into money with Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa's trade-in program. You can save $500 to $1,000 off of any new artesian spa or take advantage of a free Bluetooth music experience. Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa recommends draining your hot tub every 3 months. Ask us about our drain and refill special. Stop on by Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa today.
You don't want to see this happen. It's the oil light on your car. Oil is the lube of life for your car's engine. At Alignment Pros and Express Lube, they pour the best oil your car deserves. Expect fast, friendly, superior service in a clean environment. They'll change your oil and perform a 21-point inspection while you enjoy the comfort of their amazing waiting room. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
Green Motion e-bikes have rolled into Wenatchee. We've got fun, affordable e-bikes for the whole family. Portable e-bikes that fit right in the trunk of your car. Fat tire mountain bikes plus unique vintage style bikes you won't find anywhere else. Get some exercise with pedal assist or just cruise up to 20 miles per hour with the throttle. Starting under $1,000, Green Motion e-bikes are affordable fun for the whole family.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, a cool scene in the movie La La Land, you know, that flick that was almost Best Picture a while ago. The two main characters, Mia and Seb, were dancing and singing Well, they're commenting on what a waste of a nice evening it was, as they weren't, at that point, romantically involved. Now, Rosie and I both looked at each other and we kind of grinned during that scene, because many years ago, we were on a church trip to Israel. I was going out for a walk and I ran into Rosie in the lobby of the hotel and I asked her, hey, she wanted to come on a walk with me. Well, we ended up sitting on a dock looking at a full moon over the Mediterranean Sea, and we joked about how romantic it was and how it was just too bad that we weren't two different people romantically involved. Well, over 40 years later, I guess we were the right people after all. Yeah, I know, this is schmaltzy, but that's too bad. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Experience the difference in Manson at Mountain View Lodge, where you can park and leave your car and your cares behind. Your winter package starts at just $109, featuring treats from the Coffee Cabin at Rio Vista, Wine Girl Wines, and the North Shore Cafe. Call Mountain View Lodge and Resort or book online. Stay the night. Your room is ready.
At Harvest Valley Pest Control, we know you are committed to making your home and business a healthy and pest-free place. Hi, I'm David. Give us a call and we'll give you a firm price over the phone and schedule a time that works for you. We will do an in-depth 30-point healthy home or business inspection and craft a customized plan of action designed specifically for your pest issue. Give us a call or visit our website today.
Oh, that's awesome. Look at that. Yeah.
There he is. Sure wish he was here.
Yeah, no kidding.
Little 4-point. It's a nice coconut. Solid fish.
Watch the Northwest Outdoorsman with Richie Herod, Saturdays and Sundays at 6 a.m., 9:30 a.m., and 4:30 p.m. on the NCW Life Channel.
Highlander Golf Course is proud to announce their 2 new state-of-the-art full-swing golf simulators with over 80 courses of virtual golf to choose from year-round. Or try their Laser Shot simulated firearm program, or gaming with football, basketball, and much more. Enjoy Highlander food and drink service from their full-service bar and grill in the comfort of their simulator room. Call the Highlander Pro Shop to book your time at 884-4653. That's 884-4653.
Hi, this is Rick Walkley, owner of Value Plus Medical Supply. We take pride in our excellent customer service. In the medical supply business, it's important to know and understand the wide variety of customers' needs. We have a fully trained staff to assist you, a registered nurse, an orthopedic tech, medical supply tech, and EMT. We want you to have the best information possible to make a good decision. People come to us with their problems, and we have solutions. Stop by Value Plus Medical Supply on Mission in Wenatchee.
Choose the pros, Alignment Pros. When your vehicle needs brakes, shocks, struts, or alignment, choose the experts in their field. Alignment Pros and Express Lube with a 5-star rating. The work they perform on your vehicle is as impeccable as their shop. With state-of-the-art equipment, Alignment Pros can handle all large or small vehicles, specialty cars, lifted or lowered. Alignment Pros does them all. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
And we are back on this Wednesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. We're going to take one more look at that weather forecast and the passes as well. Weather forecast, a little bit of light snow most of the day today. Passes are getting a lot of snow. You don't want to travel in the Cascades today if you can avoid it. Again, we'll give you those details one more time before we wrap up this Wednesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. But first, another look at our headlines. And as you might imagine, our top story is that bomb threat that was phoned in a Rivercom last night. And that forced residents and tourists to evacuate Leavenworth's Front Street Commercial District for about 6 hours last night. Sheriff's deputies also had to close Highway 2 after the caller claimed there was an explosive device in a downtown garbage can. Now, the threat was called into Rivercom at about 8:40 last night. Deputies began warning pedestrians out of the Front Street area between 12th Street and the city pool. The call also forced Cascade Medical Center into a lockdown. Anna Cortez Steiner is the city administrator for Leavenworth, and she gave us this update last night before the all clear was given.
So what we understand from the sheriff's department is, from the sheriff's office, is that a call was made indicating that there was a bomb in a garbage can in the what we call the downtown core on Front Street, and we are trying to trace the phone call, find out who started that. We are currently waiting for bomb squad staff and resources to come from Moses Lake and from the west side. When they arrive, then they'll start operations to try to identify if in fact this is a real threat or not. And that's where we are.
Do you know if downtown was very full, if a lot of people had to be asked to leave all at once?
You know, I don't know. I will tell you that I had seen the downtown earlier today. It was pretty packed. I know yesterday I went for a walk around 6 p.m. and it was pretty packed. And so I would imagine, and it was like this, so I don't think that the weather was a deterrent in any way. So I would imagine that we had large crowds and, you know, folks had to leave.
Are you hopeful that this is just a prank?
I am definitely hoping that it's a prank. I do believe it's a prank. There's been a lot of communication in social media that leads me to believe that it is a prank.
And it turns out it was probably just that. The Washington State Patrol's bomb technician team, well, they combed the area in and around Front Street, but no explosive device was found. Highway 2 and the downtown corridor was reopened at 2:25 this morning. Well, Chelan County's decision on how to manage short-term rental properties are going to have to wait until next year. County commissioners agreed yesterday to put the matter into the hands of a 7-member task force to review any new findings, and they're going to do that next year. The decision came after more than 2 years of deliberations and massive public input. Here's how yesterday's meeting went.
In my thoughts on this and presentation to you yesterday, I suggested that we stand up the task force pre-code and that we can have you continue the proceedings, basically stop them right where they are, and we continue the proceedings while moving forward in a 90-day period for a task force that would look at the existing code within some parameters set in a resolution by the board, and that this task force would have 90 days in order to review what's been presented, look at the what are essentially the big issues, the big sticky issues, and attempt to come up with some area where consensus, or near consensus at least, could be found on how to proceed.
Okay, and just to reiterate to our constituents here that we're looking at a task force that is comprised of 7 individuals, 3 that the interests of the short-term rental, 3 that represent neighborhoods and housing affordability, and 1 commission. And then I will get back to the Board of Commissioners fairly soon with the recommendation on the slate of candidates for this important task force.
I would like to be able to step back from the drafting process, as heavy a hand as I've had on the tiller for this thing, and let the task force and Commissioner Boogert move forward, and I'll provide whatever assistance from this department, including my own services if needed or requested.
A judge set bail Monday at $1 million for the 2 men who were suspected in that fatal Wenatchee shooting 1 week ago. Police say 47-year-old Shane Earl Hagan of Wenatchee and 25-year-old Brendan Kane Ripper of East Wenatchee were both present, and Hagan was armed with a pistol when 36-year-old Jesus Manuel Garcia of Toppenish died by gunshot wounds Wednesday in the 600 block of Idaho Street. Hagan suffered a bullet wound to the leg. He was jailed after he was treated at Central Washington Hospital. Chelan County prosecutors have until this afternoon to file felony counts against the 2 men. Both remain held at the Chelan County Regional Justice Center. Wenatchee police say they're going to ask for charges of second-degree murder. A former Christian camp leader charged with voyeurism and domestic violence is free on bond. This is 3 months after he was arrested. David Mark Sajin resigned his post as director of the Tall Timber Ranch near Lake Wenatchee. He was arrested back on September 30th. Chelan County Sheriff's deputies say the 45-year-old Sajin spied on a teenager who was taking a shower at his home and shoved and injured a family member who confronted him about it. He posted a $25,000 bond for his release. He did that on Monday. His trial is scheduled for February. Tall Timber Ranch is a 130-acre complex on the White River Road that hosts Bible-based retreats for children and young adults. Grant County needs to do better when it comes to tracking their finances. That's the message from the state auditor's office. They issued a management letter last week saying in 2019, the county misclassified more than $5.5 million in its equipment rental and revolving fund, calling it miscellaneous revenue instead. Now, ER&R funds are one-way local governments share computers, vehicles, and machinery among their departments. The county also misstated its finances to the tune of about $2.2 million in other categories. Grant County says it's working to improve its accounting procedures. North Central Washington's 2 congressional representatives had different views on the stimulus package bill that was passed Monday that would have increased America's COVID-19 relief payments. 8th District Congresswoman Kim Schreier, Democrat, said yes to increasing the next round of pandemic relief to $2,000 per individual. The measure passed the House 275 to 134 and headed to the Senate. Now, 4th District Representative Dan Newhouse, a Republican, he cast one of the no votes in the statement. Newhouse said increasing the proposed direct relief payments from $600 to $2,000 would cost too much, and said Central Washington families, quote, want paychecks, not handouts, end quote. Citing safety risks brought on by an unusually high number of users, the Forest Service has banned snowmobiles in areas of the Methow Valley Ranger District, and that starts on Friday. The off-limits areas are near Washington Pass, off Highway 20. Meanwhile, Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest Service officials say there are a lot of backcountry snowmobiling and snow biking opportunities in the area. It's still out there for you. That includes Spire Gully off of Highway 20. By the way, the closures remain in effect until June 30th. And finally, Tina the Goose and Tom the Turkey. They were an inseparable pair at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society's shelter barn. They were forced from their home earlier this month. Now, last week, the Humane Society put out a call for somebody to adopt the 2 9-month-olds for the holidays. There was a caveat. You can adopt them, but you can't eat them. Fair enough. Mission accomplished, by the way. The Humane Society reporting that Tina and Tom found a new home on Christmas Eve. And that's a look at one more time at what's making news. Going to take a quick little break and come back and do your forecast and your pass report one more time. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
Hi, I'm Jim Heinlein, independent agent at Springwater Insurance Group. And for next year's plans, there's some really special ones coming out. One in particular has no premium to it. 0 premium. That's pretty neat, especially if you're a veteran who has TRICARE or VA or CHAMPS VA, because you can utilize 2 plans at the same time. If you have questions about this and like more information, give us a call at 888-2600.
It's the Ford Built for the Holiday sales event going on now at Pat Armstrong Ford. It's the most wonderful time of the year at Pat Armstrong Ford. Our deals are built for joy. Get 0% APR for 60 months on a 2020 Ford Expedition, plus $22.50 trade assist and 90-day deferred payment. Dash in for deals and save by the sleigh load. Unlock your merry today at Pat Armstrong Ford. We are community strong in East Wenatchee.
I'm Jenny Rojanasatian, and this is Guada TV. Every week we will be bringing you a first look at North Central Washington business, tech, and education news. You'll hear from local influencers and innovators who live right here in the Valley. Together, we'll discuss hot topics, current events, and resources that can support your business, our schools, and this community. Join me every week, and let's get inspired.
Merry Christmas, Wenatchee Valley. Collins is decorated and fully stocked with wonderful gifts. Luxurious cashmere wraps and sweaters, stylish coats to keep you warm, adorable at-home wear from PJ Salvage, socks, fresh popcorn treats, caramels from Boston, natural candles from Bend, Oregon in differing scents, hand-carved soaps, beautiful and amazing lather, scarves, coats, etc., etc., and the largest Brighton assortment of jewelry and handbags in North Central Washington. Ladies, come in and fill out your wish list, and we will wrap it up at Collins in downtown Wenatchee.
All right, we're back at 56 minutes after the hour. We got a quick minute, so let's take one more quick tour around the Wenatchee Valley now that the sun is up. It's another day of 8 hours and 31 minutes of daylight. Sunrise this morning was at 7:48. Sunset tonight, 4:19. That is the Omni Gardens camera, I believe, Malcolm. So that tells you a big difference in just less than an hour. When we looked at that last time, you could see quite a bit. Not right now. The mist and the clouds and the fog and the snow have kind of clouded over that camera from the very tip of the Omni Gardens complex. That looks to be, is that number 1 canyon? Again, cloudy, foggy, misty, snowy. Up there, up number 1 canyon. Trust me, the Wenatchee Valley is out there somewhere. You just can't seem to make it out. Let's see what camera 3 has in store for us. Well, here we go, downtown Wenatchee. That makes it a lot easier. That's one of our Cascadian cameras. That's the one pointed to the south. Looks like the morning commute on Mission, Chelan, and Wenatchee Avenue seems to be going okay. That gives you a pretty good idea of how low those clouds and fog is in camera number 4. Oh, that's cool. Up to the lake, I believe. I want to say maybe Bear Mountain. Yep, okay, that's the Lower Butte, but pretty close. It's not too bad. Only about 4 or 5 miles away. Hi, Lake Chelan. How you doing? You look pretty cloudy and foggy there. This is a good indicative of this time of the year weather-wise. Yesterday's high, 32. Yesterday's low, 30. That was it. We got to 30 degrees and just kind of stayed there. As far as snow is concerned today, here in the valley proper, right on the floor, we're looking at an inch, maybe 2. Once it's hitting the streets, I've noticed it's dissipating, it's melting away. So we're going to get light snow most of the day today. The heavier snow is going to be along the crest of the Cascades in the Idaho Panhandle and in northeast Washington. They're going to get more snow with kind of a wintry mix out in the Columbia Basin, a mixture of snow and rain out there. All right, from the National Weather Service, here's your forecast in detail. Again, snow, light snow, most of the day today. The snow level is going to hover right around 600 feet, and that is the Wenatchee Valley. We'll top off at about 32 degrees, 28 for the overnight low tonight. Snow level is going to go up to 2,300 feet, but by the time it does go up, the system will have pretty much petered itself out. Cloudy and dry tomorrow. No real, well, partly cloudy anyway. No snow in the forecast. We'll get up to about 36, so expect a little bit of snow melt. Thursday night, New Year's Eve, although the snow level is going to be about 1,200 feet, not expecting any precipitation really. Maybe a rain-snow mix Thursday night. I don't think it's going to happen. Friday for the holiday, snow level is going to be at 1,700 feet. Little or no snow accumulation expected on Friday. Saturday, 36, and then 40, 37, 38, so we're going to be fairly mild for this time of year. And the mountain passes are going to get a lot of snow this weekend. In fact, they're getting a lot of snow right now. Boy, things are nasty. Look at that. That's I-90. Chains are still required on I-90. It is snowing hard on Snoqualmie Pass. It's snowing and snowing hard on Stevens Pass. Traction tires are required there. Looks like the parking lot's starting to fill up at the ski resort. Continuing to snow there. It's snowing on Blewett Pass. As a matter of fact, with the traction tire advisory there, quite a bit of snow coming down. So traction tires advised on Blewett, required on Stevens. Chains are required in all vehicles except all-wheel drive on I-90. Snow totals today, 4 to 8 inches in the Cascades. Tonight, 3 to 7 inches. And then tomorrow, 2 to 4 inches. So they're going to get anywhere from 10 to 20 inches by New Year's Day. And then really heavy snow this weekend. It's going to start snowing Friday, and it ain't going to stop until the middle of next week. Just be forewarned. That's it for us. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.